Squibb presents Academy Award. Every week, Squibb brings you Hollywood's finest. The great picture plays, the great actors and actresses, techniques and skills chosen from the honor roll of those who have won or been nominated for the famous Golden Oscar of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. And now, E.R. Squibb & Sons, manufacturing chemist to the medical profession since 1858, bring you, as our star tonight, the distinguished actor William Powell, who has twice been nominated for the Academy Award as Best Actor of the Year. You will hear Mr. Powell in that delightful comedy, My Man Godfrey, the picture which was nominated in 6 different classifications for the 1936 Academy Award.
This is a story of the Depression. A bad time when America had a headache. Brokers jumped from tall buildings, and a lot of folks sold apples on street corners. It was a very sad time indeed, in which the rich got richer and the poor got poorer. And our poor hero lived in a shack in a city dump. Yet his heart was pure, though his pockets were empty, and he wore a beard, and his name was Godfrey.
George, what a horrible place.
Yes, Cornelia. This is what is called the dump.
Oh. Good evening. Are you a bum?
Yes, I'm a bum.
Good. I'm Cornelia Bullock.
Oh, yes, indeed. Of the Bullocks?
How would you like to make $5?
Well, added to what I've got, that would make $5.
All right, then follow me.
But just a minute. Not that I mean to be inquisitive, but what would I have to do?
Now, don't be fussy.
Well, I'd like to know. I'm funny that way.
Well, you certainly are. Well, we're having a scavenger hunt, and I need a forgotten man. All I want to do is show you to some people at the Waldorf, that's all.
Show me to some people at the Waldorf. Are we dressing?
Look, do you want the $5 or don't you?
Madam, your offer is very intriguing. But I'm afraid I can't arrive at a decision myself. I'm afraid I'll have to take it up with the board of directors. And no matter what the board of directors advise, as far as I'm concerned, you can take your $5 and...
I say, you coward, hitting a lady.
Oh, you? All right, I don't mind hitting a gentleman either.
George, aren't you going to do something?
Yes, Cornelia, I am. Come, we'll get a policeman.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Irene. That was my sister Cornelia you pushed into the ash heap. I wanted to do that all my life. Do you live here?
Yes, my real estate agent found this place. He felt the altitude would help my asthma.
I have an uncle who has asthma.
Yeah, bring him down by all means. And look at the view. Of course, spring is a little late this year, but the ash cans are sprouting nicely.
Yes, it is very nice, but I have to be going. Really, I've got to go back and see who won the game. I hope it wasn't Cornelia, but she is so lucky.
So, if she gets there first with the forgotten man, she wins?
Yes.
Well...